gives me great pleasure to introduce our third and final honoree, a person who we all know and highly respect. And as you just heard from Michael about sending these kids to camp, they also told me back there there's only 3 more lanterns left back in the back, $350 each, and each one of them sends a kid to camp. And you're not really buying them, you're just trading money, and it'll help a kid. So please remember those on your way out. Tonight's third honoree is Lori Raya, Southern California Division President, Albertsons, Vons, and Pavilion. You know, for those of us that have been in the industry a long time, when they merged all those companies together and put them under one banner or one leadership team, everybody was asking who's going to lead it. And those of us that have been around a while were not surprised at all when Lori was chosen to run it. She has so many attributes of leadership and style that represent our industry so well that it's not a surprise that she's our honoree this evening. It's my pleasure to formally introduce Lauren Waits. Lauren is 17, a student at Cerritos High School, and a spoken word poet. She first became involved with CCEJ through Building Bridges Camp and has since become the youth leader and prominent advocate for silenced voices, those people in our society who aren't heard and aren't listened to and don't have a voice advocating for them. In her future, Lauren hopes to study communications and psychology to better understand the world we live in and the people in it. Please join me in welcoming Lauren Waits.
Thank you. Good evening. One of the reasons I got involved with CCEJ back in March of 2016 is because I am a firm believer in running in the direction of your passions. And having grown up in Compton, I understand that in this world that is changing ever so slightly all the time, it is important to have something that grounds you and keeps you moving steadily upstream. For me, this thing has always been literature, ethics, art, and storytelling. Through this, I found a way to channel the negative and turn it into something positive and real. In many ways, I am passionate about what brings us together as people, what binds us, and what often rips us apart. Talking to Lori Raya, I understood more about what it means to connect with people and to find a little bit of yourself in their stories. As Lori and I come from separate backgrounds and ideologies, we were able to find the similarities in our altruism and our drive to leave every place a little bit better than it was when we found it. Through her many years of unwavering community service and vigor at which she helps those in need, it is obvious that she is a great example of what happens when you run in the direction of your passions, when you care about the work you do and the reasons for which you do it. CCEJ is proud to recognize her as one of this year's Food and Beverage Industry's Humanitarian honorees. 30 years ago, Lori began working as a courtesy clerk in Safeway's Denver division to help provide for her family and to help her mother pay the bills. She began moving up in the company and went on to run store operations in many key locations. Initially studying biology and kinesiology, she stumbled into the food and beverage industry and soon began to soar. When asked about a few of the challenges she faced during her time in this industry, she mentioned the difficulty in finding her place in a male-dominated business, how she often felt as though she had to fly to get somewhere many men could walk to, a concept many other women and people of color are very familiar with, the same concept CCEJ works to uproot and equalize. Through Lori's many years in the company, she says the gender dynamics in the workforce are changing, an impact she had when she stepped through those very doors herself. For two people who come from very different worlds, Lori and I were able to find much-needed common ground in a world that seems to be getting progressively more divided. We discussed how and why society forces us into categories and why it is we so often allow it to happen. As we had both been athletes, we shared Hail Mary stories of triumph and how much more important it is to fail. How sports injuries allowed us both to find something else to be good at, something else to define us. But most importantly, we spoke on why the work we do here at the California Conference for Equality and Justice is important, and why the ideal of acceptance and love transcends age, race, and class. Managing 35,000 employees in 355 stores that operate under the Albertsons, Vons, and Pavilions names seems like a very large anchor for anyone to bear. Talking to all 35,000 employees and visiting all 355 stores in the span of 1 year seems nearly impossible. And yet, for 5 years, Lori has managed to do just that, never allowing the excuse of distance nor time to infringe upon her own personal obligation to her employees. She tells us that when there's a new store opening or reopening, she donates to many of the nonprofit organizations in the area in an effort to give back to the community, understanding that it takes a village to run a great company, an ideal of connectedness that further exemplifies why she is deserving of this award. She mentions that while the food and beverage village is competitive, an area where they all put their competitive business hats aside and proceeds for the greater good is in charity, understanding that they all work toward the same common goal, feeding America, making sure that they hire people who represent the America that buys their products. Growingly important is making sure that they have products America can afford to buy. And coming from humble beginnings, this is a concept Lori is very familiar with. And by the end of our interview, it was obvious that some things, regardless of race, class, or generation, just seem to stay the same. These include the ways in which we share stories, make connections, and build bridges. CCEJ recognizes Lori Raya for her success as an outstanding businesswoman, yes, but more so for her impenetrable spirit and benevolence. Please join me in welcoming Lori Raya.
Yes, Mr. Barker, that's not country music, that's Nickelback. I know you expected me to come up with some country song that you're gonna have to play a banjo to, so I thought I'd bring a little rock to the group. First of all, I wanna thank CCEJ for having me here and the amazing honor that's been bestowed on me tonight. I certainly want to thank the dinner committee. What a great job, great dinner for that group. Thank you. I also want to thank Kevin for being here as our great host. And Lauren said it in her comments. I think tonight is a night that is so special for our industry because we are such competitors, and Pat Posey's here, and Pete Van Helden, and so many competitors in the room that we compete furiously by day, but all we really want is to make sure our people, thank you, are very successful, but really helping give back to the community. So from me to all of the folks who compete so fiercely, so well in Southern California, the competitors out there, I want to thank you for coming together to help CCEJ make impact and help the youth of California. So thank you very much. You know, two gentlemen I really need to thank tonight who really brought me to the stage are the gentlemen that came to my office and told me they wanted to honor me with this award. And it's really Bob and Jerry. And everyone know Bob and Jerry. And both of those two gentlemen who've been through furious battles in their lives and have fought true and hard day in, day out to be here tonight. And I know that wasn't easy. But these two gentlemen, the reason they're here tonight and the reason, Jerry, I heard you tell me 2 hours ago you got a call from your doctor and said you had recent tests and you're clear. What you do is why you're here tonight. All that you've paid forward to all of us and helped everyone so generously over their careers has given back to all of you, to both of you, to have the strength to be here tonight. And we're so blessed to have you, and I'm so happy you're both doing well. Certainly thrilled to have Michael and Mary with me tonight. I was able to select honorees to join me tonight, and I couldn't think of two other individuals that are more fitting than Mary and Michael, and I think both of you everyone got to see them tonight. Great honorees, and I'm thrilled to be here with them, so congratulations to that group. Thank you. All right, to the Albertsons, Vons, Pavilions team that's in the house, I would not be here without all of you, so stand up. Thank you for being here. You got it, Diana. Give it a big hoot. Do it again for me. Thank you. I mean, what an amazing group. And Kevin talked about 2.5 years ago when our great companies came together. It wasn't me as the leader who brought it together. It's the people, the passion, and the spirit of these 3 great brands that really made it happen. And I'm just fortunate enough to be along for the ride and be able to represent all of you on this stage tonight. So this award is for Albertsons Vaughn's Pavilions, not for me, because all of you are what make it special. So thank you. And certainly without our vendor partners and suppliers who filled this room tonight, all of you are there for us day in, day out with whatever we need, whatever we ask, whatever event, any product, any demo, any show and tell, anything, you're always there. And tonight you're here once again supporting a great cause and certainly supporting our division. And from me and my team, we thank you for that. And Henry Wong, you rocked it, way to sell out this house. I thank you for that. And to Lauren, and I know she's backstage, but really to her parents, I had a great opportunity to spend a couple of hours with her in my office, and I was truly inspired by her and her passion and her vision, just a great youth leader. And I know she's going to aspire to be great things in this world, but I've told her no matter how far you travel, whatever you do, if you ever want to come work for us, let me know, because I have a great role for you within our company. You got it. She has a job. Mom, Dad, she has a job. She's pretty amazing. And, tonight's theme is about storytelling, and there's so many great classic stories that have stood up through time, really through nature, that challenge us, take us into new worlds. And if you think about that story, and we talked about the circle earlier, and these guys challenged me to be a little bit more open than I generally want to be with individuals. But we really challenge ourselves to be open and tell some stories about each other, and it really helps us relate to characters. And for me, it was really the story and the movie of Pride and Prejudice that really impacted me. And it's a movie that every time I see it, if it's on TV, I sit down and watch it, whether it's been 100 times. I just think there's special meaning. And I wasn't sure who it was, whether it was Michael or Mary, that selected Rudy or the little engine that could. Is their favorite movie? Anybody here figure out who Rudy? Right? So, I mean, Mary, right, and her big Rudy chant. I thought she was going to get up here and do it tonight, but she didn't. And Michael with the little engine that could. But there's stories that really impacted all of our lives, and I think have helped make us who we are. And I think what makes it great through stories is we have an amazing opportunity to create our own narrative in what we do every day, and truly to write our own story. 30 years ago, when I started with this company as a courtesy clerk in Denver, it really was for my family to help my mother pay bills. And as we handled the talk this morning or this afternoon about really who it was that impacted us, for me it was my mother, who when my parents were divorced, she worked 4 jobs, 7 days a week, so that my brother and I could stay in a very good high school, a very good system of athletics, because she knew the only way we would have a chance to go to college was to use our athletic ability to do that. And so she allowed me to do that, and she's really the person who allowed me to be up here on this stage today, because if she hadn't pushed me with the passion, her sacrifice is the word I shared with my group, to put me on this stage, I might be telling you a very different tale about who I was and how I got here. But she really was the one that made me do that. Thank you. The key thing is, for wherever you're at in life, you're in some part of the storyline, and I think the thing that's fun is you can be the one, if you heard the song, Live Like It's Your Last Day, you can be the one that rewrites the next chapter of your life and your contribution to the community, your contribution to whether CCEJ or other great nonprofits out there. You have the chance to write your narrative and write that chapter of your life to make an impact, and I'm hoping I'm doing that with CCEJ. As I look at youth leaders like Lauren and Alnale, who's in the back here, she spent some time with us as well at the Fullerton office, and I got to know both of these individuals, really the program coordinator and the other youth you heard about tonight. It's really what inspires me, because they're overcoming obstacles day in, day out. And I'm very inspired and would really like the youth, and I know a lot of the group came back here, but I'm inspired by this youth. I'm excited to see what they're going to do for us, and the youth that's in this room with what CEJ is doing for them, they are the future, and I'm inspired by that. So I'd really like to thank all of the youth who are here tonight, who greeted us and put this event together. If we think about our industry is a prime representation of the diverse groups we're celebrating tonight. And everything we do each and every day, our company is not only, our business is not only sustained by this group, but also run by really diversity, ethnicity, age, gender, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status. I mean, it's what brings us all together. It's what brings our business together each and every day. So I ask my colleagues in this room, really, as we're here today, how are you as an industry mentoring these groups to help shape their stories, to help make great chapters in their books and in their lives so that they can tell those stories to their children and the companies they work for and their peers? How are we encouraging them towards a plot line and a twist that will make them and us better in this world? I think all of their stories will surprise all of us. It is about the youth. They're why we're here tonight. CEJ is a great organization. I'm proud to be part of it. Thank you for the honor. Thank you for having me tonight. Do what you can to inspire and help one of these children write a new chapter, because all of you have helped me add another chapter to my life tonight. Thank you for the honor.